What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we're going to go over 5 ways to make 2019 your best reselling year ever. I appreciate you guys taking the time to stop by. If you are here new, my name is Chris Lynn, and I run an e-commerce store on a few different platforms like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and also newly Amazon this year as I'm spending more time doing that. I will also be making a lot more YouTube content. I've just been a little bit slacking on. I picked up a second storage unit, so now I can move everything out of my house. So when you guys check out my future videos, it'll be off-site. So I'm pretty excited for that. A lot of you guys know I just recently got engaged, so when she moves in here, there won't be any inventory in the house that's not unlisted. So it sounds a little bit different than other people. It's actually going to be only unlisted inventory because I'm going to process it here. To the left of me is the photography station, the description station, the shipping station. This is like some packages that are going out tomorrow, probably around 180 orders from the weekend. So it's getting really busy now, so I don't have a ton of time to do social media. And YouTube is more important to me than social media, so I want to make some content for you guys. But let's get into it. So thank you so much for the congratulations. Here are the 5 steps. The first step is the most important one, so I want to hit on that first. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Just put it in the chat. The first thing that you can do, and the most important thing you can do, is improve your sourcing. Okay, so you have to improve your sourcing. That's the number one thing you can do. Get relationships with people that you can trust, learn replenishable items, and also get better and better at your specific niche. I actually think it's a great time to jump into reselling because the competition is not improving. I've been on platforms like Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, and it's the same. The big guys are getting a lot better, and they're basically monopolizing their niche. So it's very difficult to enter in stuff that's highly competitive. But if you're entering in one-off stuff around your house, or you're thrifting, or you're trying to start a business as a great side hustle, perfect. It's a perfect time to enter because most people do not work hard enough to build a solid business, and they rely mostly on what they feel like instead of formulas. So like I get a lot of heat for this sometimes, but I don't think your feelings matter. The market doesn't care. It just wants the best stuff at the best deal. Then that's how you sell things. You look for an item, like it's sort of like buy low and sell high and find the right platform that has the least amount of people doing that. That's how you can be successful. So first thing is improve your sourcing. I always recommend having 5 to 10 people, 5 to 10 sources that you can trust. I have that, and it's made my life a lot easier. I literally do not have to leave my house to source ever again. That's how many people I know at this point. And that is interesting because I could run a reselling business like a few of my friends without a car, which I think is important because there's a lot of people who do drop shipping or people who have difficulty sourcing because of where they live. If that's the case, you need to learn how to source online. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm not sure if this mic is hooked up correctly. My normal computer is being repaired right now. Okay. The second thing is you need to have a standard operating procedure. I'm going to show you guys, or I'm going to go over what I work on all the time, and I want you guys to follow the same thing. If you have some ideas, please reach out to me and tell me how you organize your company, but this is how I do it. So the first part is purchasing. I have a specific chart for how I buy things, a certain amount of profit. What happens if it's not the right amount of profit? Does it get donated? Does it get put into a wholesale lot, which I'm sort of experimenting with? Does it go into a book listing? Does it go into Amazon? Can I send it in? Is it going to be something I list on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, or just Poshmark, or just Mercari? My favorite platform to sell on is actually Mercari because it has the least amount of fees, and their customer service is awesome. So I know what people are talking about. If you do a good job and you're clear and you provide valid tracking information, I have yet to lose a case on Mercari. It is awesome. It's a huge, awesome, uncharted place to sell stuff online. It's still the wild, wild west on Mercari, and they have insane traffic. Like, it's not uncommon for 100 people to see your item the very first day. Now that never happened on eBay unless you list like a PlayStation. You're not going to get that heavy traffic. And if you're listing something that popular, it doesn't matter what platform. So that's why my number one tip is to get is to improve your sourcing, because you don't need to sell multiple platforms if you have really high quality items. You just need one. There's plenty of successful people who sell on one platform. I was telling you guys that the couple that I met, they do $4 million on 3 products. They just sell 3 different types of electronics. That's it. And 550 a day of each of them, right? So you can go that narrow, right? But that couple, even though they sell 550 a day on each of those items on eBay, they're also on Newegg, they're on Walmart, they're on Amazon with those same 3 products. So they've built a gigantic business over the last 10 years, and they don't have to do anything, right? That's sort of the dream for some people, to build a business that generates money so they can work on other things. That's one of those businesses, and a very nice couple to boot. Okay. After that, purchasing, sorting, and describing, this is my current bottleneck. I have 5 staff now full-time, and the description part is the part I struggle with the most. The next part is price research. I use 3 different tools for price research, which I'm going to make a separate video for coming up soon. I use Zik Analytics, I use Terapeak, and I use eBay Solds. Okay, so those 3 things I use to figure out what to price items at. That's very important. I don't have any issue with that, but I'll go over how I price my items in future videos. The next one is photographing, packing, and storing. This I have on lock. The 2 people that I have photographing, packing, and storing items for me are way faster, way better, and way more accurate, and they catch way more flaws than me. They've just been doing it for longer. There's a system, there's a checklist of things they look for. The photos look exactly the same every single time. The only thing that can make that better is better production. If I were to get a better camera, better lighting, that's going to make it better. But as far as their process, it's exactly what I want in the photos, except for the setup that I have is not exactly what I'm looking for. And it's just going to require two different types of light sources that I'm still figuring out. So, but for what I sell, it's definitely enough already. Then there's listing. So listing, this is incredibly challenging for the people that are listening right now. If you're trying to get into multiple platforms, okay, it's very challenging to learn how to end items on different platforms. And that's why I haven't been making YouTube videos the last 5 months, because I've been trying to figure out how to automate that. I've been learning scripts. I've been learning lots of different things. In fact, and this all started when somebody introduced me to Poshmark Bots, right? We talked about this a long time ago, and I was watching people that basically automate the sharing part of their Poshmark closet. And there are tools, right, like Simple Posture, which I was just looking at to see how they're doing. There are 1,800 people using that app. That's amazing. There's, I forgot her, I think her name is Amanda. She developed that app, and 1,800 people pay her $10 a month now. That is awesome. I'm very happy for her. She's like a developer. But that got me thinking. Multiple people started sharing with me the way they automate listing. Okay, this is where I have tools that I use, InkFrog, or I use Channel Advisor, or different tools that help them list on multiple platforms, as high as 30 platforms with this lady, Gabby's Bags. So I'm not going to put a link in the description, but Gabby's Bags, you guys can look her up. It might be a girl, it might be a guy. I'm not sure what it is, but they sell on 30 different platforms, the same exact items. That's amazing. And that requires a lot of skill to be able to put together an infrastructure that ends it on certain platforms, relists it on a different platform, updates the quantity. And you have to make sure you don't get suspended on the platform when your defect rate is too high. I did the video on I called eBay and I recorded the conversation. I said, is it okay to dropship? Is it okay to sell on multiple platforms? Of course it is. The lady on the call recommends you rotate the defect. Now, what that means is you're going to have cancellations and double sells if you're on more than one platform. So just make sure you fall under the defect rate on all those different platforms so you don't lose your account. On eBay, it's 3%. So don't cancel more than 3% or you're going to fall below standard and you'll get a horrible search ranking. So just make sure that you guys understand different platforms and develop systems. It's extremely time consuming, and like it's worth, in my opinion, like $100 an hour or more for someone to help you build the systems that are required to make that really, really easy. The rest of the eBay business is very straightforward. If you wanted to sell on one platform, you don't need any automation. There are plenty of people that I know that do 6, 7 figures by themselves, selling on one platform just because they're really good at it. The multi-platform is really more necessary if you have replenishables or your items aren't that good, and so you really need the extra traffic. Daniel's asking, what do I do when I'm away on vacation? I'm going to take Q&A at the end, but I'll just say right now, my store never takes a vacation. I have staff, so they ship and list. The store is exactly the same whether I'm here or not. It's the same. It runs better when I'm here because, of course, they're trying to work harder when I'm watching, and I can also run around like an expediter, which is an idea that my photographer gave me. He's like, in a restaurant, there's an expediter that runs around and makes sure everything is okay, and that person is usually the owner. In a well-run restaurant, it's the person just making sure that the customer experience is right. Okay. After listing, there is reconciling. So this is where you do your accounting and make sure your accounting is up to date. I have completely automated accounting, right? And if you guys want me to do that for you, I can do it for you, and it's $5,000. And it will take me like 2 weeks to go to wherever you are, figure out how you sell things, but I could automate your accounting probably in 5 days. And the reason why I say that is because I painstakingly figured out every single step that happens when an eBay order comes in, or Poshmark or Mercari, and I know how those sales are recorded and how you can translate that into a spreadsheet automatically. So starting on January 9th, when I moved to my new system, I don't have to do any accounting. So that literally the sale comes in, let's say it's $38, it'll automatically update my spreadsheet with $38. I don't have to do anything. So that took me a really, really, really long time. And I got the idea from Sean Savvy on Instagram. He was saying that his company paid $12,000 for somebody to make that for them. And I was like, wow, that's totally worth it. If you are a company to not have to do any accounting, just have it be automated. You sell something and it shows up and it's already calculated how much profit loss. The only thing that mine doesn't do is it doesn't calculate state sales tax. So I don't really know how to fix that yet, but I will fix that this year. At the end, mine will automatically update depending on the state. And how I program that, to give you guys an idea, is the email will come in, and what I needed to do is basically pull the information of what state it is somehow. And that, I live in California, so if CA is somehow in that email and I can read it, then it will populate I need to pay sales tax. So that's how you would break it down and figure that out. Okay. The next thing is printing the labels, which is a pain in the butt on Mercari. So I basically created a program that downloads the label, opens the label, screenshots the label, prints the label, deletes the label from my hard drive, goes back to Mercari, marks it as shipped, and then goes to the next order. And before I made that program, it took 5 minutes to print a Mercari label. I don't know who's in charge there, but they should. I can't believe you don't know how to. You can't print a 4x6 label on Mercari unless somebody knows how to do it, and they can just share it with me. But I don't know how to do it. Not automatically. And I think I have one more thing before. Yeah, okay. And customer service and shipping. Then I'll answer questions. Sorry about that. So customer service, I'm just doing twice a day. And I actually outsourced my customer service because I wanted to see how good my systems are, and they're horrible. I got 11 negative feedback because my team has no idea how to look at previous messages. Right, and my shipping person was not able to communicate with my VA. So, like, if you want to figure out how to, if your systems work or not, Tim Ferriss, one of the guys I really like, says you need to take a 2-month break. So, my daily refinement store, I didn't do anything in my daily refinement store since Halloween. I know that sounds crazy, but I've been working on 2 other stores. I have not listed one item or shipped anything in a daily refinement store since October 31st. I just tried to see how many things would break while I was gone, and so many things broke. And I have like in my eBay career like 2 negative feedback. And I got 11 negative feedback in basically 2 months from my people not being able to communicate problems. And it just goes to show like that's how you go from like if you want to not be in your business somehow, you have to let other people learn how to do it and show you what's wrong. And it's very obvious that I am always the problem. So it's funny because I use the word bottleneck a lot in my when I'm talking to my team. What's the bottleneck here? What's going on? What's wrong? And then they are saying that I should just get a tattoo on my forehead or my neck that says bottleneck because every single time there's a problem, it's my fault. So anyway, that's what it is. And then shipping wise, I have daily pickup, so they come to my house every day. The post office does it. On Mondays, I get the big boy commercial truck because there's a lot of shipments. Like I think there's 160 packages going out tomorrow for me, and the rest of the days it's only 50 or 60. So the regular mail truck comes. So I'm not big enough. Or they send the truck with the lift gate or whatever that thing is. Only comes on Monday. Okay, now I'm going to answer some Q&A. Let's see. Oh, sorry. It's too close to the mic. Let me turn down the gain. Is that better? Sorry about that, guys. How many? Let's see. Thanks, Paul. I turned down the gain. Let's see. Okay. What am I using to create my programs? I don't really talk about it, but just a mix of scripts and macros. Let's see here. How many stores do I have? I have 3. I have 3. I have 5 eBay stores, but 3 that people know about. And then Poshmark, I have 2 because you can only have 2 stores on Poshmark. And then Mercari, you can only have 1 store. So I only have 1 Mercari store. And then I have 2 Amazon accounts. Lex, I don't drop off the packages at the post office. They come to my house every day. Let's see. Let's see. What am I using? Is determining expense. It is okay. So I think Mark was asking if it's fully automated or not. Most of my stuff is fully automated. There are only things that I haven't completely automated is just human checking. So for example, when I list an item on eBay, what I'm checking is are the item specifics correct on eBay? Okay, so on eBay, if it fills in everything, but then I go in and make sure is it the right category. For example, I sell a lot of shoes, and for some reason, eBay will pre-populate extra narrow as the width, right? Doesn't always do that, but sometimes it does. So I have to manually eyeball that and check the width. There's 5 things I manually check on eBay before I launch it, which is just did it put in the right condition? Did it put in the right item specifics? And so the checklist that my VA goes through, he's like, okay, are these 5 things okay? Okay, launch. Goes to Poshmark. Are these 5 things correct? Okay, good. Launch. Mercari, Amazon. They have a checklist of things that they do every single time. And then after they knock out the checklist of things that they need to do, it goes through. Let's see. What's up, Daniel? Do I do meetups in California for resellers? No. So this sounds a little weird, but I last year I had so many meetups that I'm a little bit burned out from meeting people, but I'm still going to go to eBay Open, and I might do some kind of weekly chat locally. I guess I could maybe do it closer to me, so it's not as big of a commute, but I could do a local meetup and just chat with people so that I can just get out of the house a little bit and out of my new commercial space. It's just 2 storage units that are 10 by 30 that store 8,000 items. That's off site, and then here I'll just be doing the listing and photography and setup. Is it better to take an issue for? Or what's up, Maya? So that's a good idea. I mean, a good point to bring up. Can you do both at the same time? Yes and no. So tomorrow I have 320 items that are unlisted. That's it. So tomorrow, we should be able to do all 320 listings from 7:10 to 4:10. And I have 2 photographers coming in the pack. And then I'm not buying anything until Friday. So the reason is because I want to just meet with my CPA a few times. I want to knock down the payroll. So I'm set up. I'm taking a salary this year of around 55 grand. Okay, so 55 grand is my salary. I'm gonna pay myself one time per month. So I'm just figuring out the exact logistics of how the accounting is working, how I'm actually getting paid. Of the 55 grand that it's like, what is that, four something per month after maxing out 401k and whatever, it leaves me with 2 grand. And taxes here are a lot. So the 2 grand I'm going to try and live on for 10 years. And then basically I want to max out my SEP IRA. And there's also other stuff like a simple IRA, IRA. I don't know how to pronounce it, but there are other ways of putting more money into that. But I just want to live on 2 grand for 10 years, the first 10 years of being married. And then we probably won't have to work again after that. That's the plan. So just stay frugal, invest 100% of the money. And then just in a while, we should only have to work for fun. Is it worth posting on multiple platforms if you sell non-replenishable goods? It depends on how popular they are. For me, since I'm buying bulk, a lot of the stuff's not as popular. I need the extra traffic. Let's see. Do you have a case for they didn't like the item? No. I have a feedback that I got on one of my accounts that says bad seller, and I asked if there was anything wrong, and they said no. So I don't have a case to remove the negative feedback, even though there's no reason. Excuse me. Having a store is a must. See, Audrey, you would think having a store is required, but you don't have to have a store. There are plenty of people that, like Craigslist Hunter, who's never had an eBay store. It doesn't matter. It doesn't give you higher ranking. It just saves you a little bit of money on insertion fees and gives you tools like Markdown Manager. But again, eBay has so much traffic, you don't need any of those tools to sell your item. As long as you have the right item at the right price, it should sell. Promoted listings gives you a boost, but it also costs more. So you have to weigh those advantages. I like both. Well, Daniel, I also have a few other hacks that make it possible for me to live for 2 grand in the Bay Area. Basically, partially renting out things has reduced my overhead. I have a free car because I have rental cars. So those cars pay income in. So I have a negative car expense each month. I don't count that as this, but in this year I should net 10 grand from my cars. So like and I'm driving a '05 Prius. So instead of something nicer. So I'm just gonna keep that car for right now. One more thing I want to present, which is kind of funny, is that I'm older now. When I was younger, the pleasure of cool stuff was a lot higher. I was really dumb in my 20s. I bought a lot of expensive stuff, and I had a really good job. Like I made 160 grand when I was 26, and I basically spent all of it. I had a actually more like a 250 grand taste for doing things and only 160 grand salary. So that was not financially responsible at all, but the pleasure was very, very high. Now those things look really dumb to me. The pleasure of going out and drinking is a lot lower, and the pain of not having a high savings rate is really, really high, but it's not high when you're young. So it's kind of like a fuzzy thing. But for some of my friends, they never had the pleasure from going out or partying or having a nice car, expensive watch. They thought that was dumb to begin with. And that saves you 10 years of financial struggle. Let's see here. Is my business paying the rent for see, this is exactly one of the ways why I can get by on 2000. So yes, Paul is asking if the business is paying for some of the rent used in my home. Yes. I'm writing off $2 a square foot for the space that's in my home. So my rent is actually $2,700. So people are asking, do I live with my parents? I do not live with my parents. The last time my parents talked to me, they asked me for gas money. So no, I don't live with my parents. I actually live in this house by myself. The only reason I do that is so I can make use of the space for my store. But because of how I do the tax write-off for the space I use, it ends up being very, very affordable. Also, I'm cooking. So, I mean, this is really fun to go over the budget because maybe you guys care about this, maybe you don't. But I'm spending $100 a month eating out, and I'm spending $100 a week on groceries, which is a lot of money for one person grocery wise. I can basically eat whatever I want, but I cannot eat out very often. Um, when does it make sense to open an eBay store? You could write this down: 250 items for a basic store, 600 for a premium store, and 3,000 for an anchor store. Well, you have 9 years left on a similar plan. Awesome. Yeah, I just want to. I had a financial plan before I proposed because um, money sucked my entire life growing up, and my parents argued about it every single day of my existence. So I do not want to have that. That's probably why it took me so long to get married, because I wasn't comfortable, with a financial plan. Do I use offers to likers on eBay? No. And I actually just removed best offer because I don't need it. I used to have best offer on my items, but as you guys look at my stores as they progress, I don't need it anymore because I discount my items on a schedule now. So after 90 days, they're like 90% off. So I don't need best offer anymore. Who would I recommend to follow who is a solo seller growing large on eBay? I recommend just journaling and following yourself. Don't follow people on, you shouldn't even really listen to too much YouTube because everyone is so different. Your situation is very different. I would just journal what you're doing and then ask people what they think of a certain thing that you're working on. Because if you listen to YouTube while you work on eBay, you can't get anything done. There's too much input coming in. You can't implement any of those ideas. It's too hard. You should just listen to instrumental music. Yeah, see, Jen's been selling for 10 years and never had a store. You don't need a store. It doesn't give you any premium placement. Um, let's see. Get a small discount on shipping. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. You do get a small discount on shipping when you have a store, but I use Pirate Ship now because it's easier to use than eBay shipping. So it's not a scam website. Pirate Ship is just a company that's passing on cubic shipping rates to customers. Okay. Why would social media be important to a reseller? It's not. Most of the resellers that I met that do seven figures or above at eBay Open and other places don't have social media at all. It's not because that they don't find it useful. It's just not something that they do. It's not. I feel like if they wanted to do social media well, they could fit it into their schedule, but it definitely wouldn't be comparing themselves to other people. They would be in there to learn or to help or to give back, something like that. Yeah, Vegas is definitely an option. One of my fiance's best friends, they do internet marketing and they do very well. They probably make 300-400 grand, and they were here in California and they just moved to Vegas. So that's like they put I think 250 grand down on a house here, and then that was a few years ago, and the house went up a little bit. And I think that their house in Vegas was less than 250, less than their down payment here. So it's kind of insane. Is it a good idea to lease an office? It depends on how much you have listed and where you live. My units are $500 for 300 square feet, and that required a contract because getting stuff under $202 a square foot here is not so easy. So it depends on where you live. I personally don't want my work to mess with my personal life. I don't need to have an external unit. I could run it from my house. I just like the fact that I can go buy stuff, come here, have it unlisted in the garage, and then with the team list it all, take it back to the storage, and have nothing here. And it's a nice goal to have nothing in your house for sanity. Or you could also do FBA, I recommend Amazon for people who are doing don't have very much space. I have a little more space, so I'm working with used goods, which I like. What's up? What's up, LA woman? Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Office is cheaper than moving to a larger home. For most people, it is. Um, yes, Paul's an actual CPA, so if you guys have questions, talk to him. Um, do I sell items locally as well? Yes, but only furniture. So furniture, if I'm at a garage sale, I get some furniture for pretty much free. That I will sell. I just sold a dolly locally. What's up, Gadala? Side Hustle Jacks, what's going on? You made some videos that might help. Yeah, awesome. I like YouTube because it helps. People will tell you that you're full of shit and you don't know what you're doing all day, but inside those negative comments, somebody will write why they think you're a piece of shit and why your system won't work. And you take that nugget and then you improve your system and you come back on YouTube and you repeat the process. But man, if you present an idea on the internet, a lot of people will tell you it won't work. What is my storage system? So all of my items are pre-packed like this. And then inside it'll say the location. So B7501 means that bin number 75, the first item in there is what that clothespin is. And I've tried different systems. I'm now using sort of a barcode system where there's a location, the location and the item ID are on that clip instead of this. So as an example, let's say it's item number 999. It'll say 999A75. And that's the same system that Amazon uses, but they have a barcode for each of those things, a barcode for the location and a barcode for the item. So that way, when you have somebody ship for you, they don't ship the wrong item. And as I was having people ship for me the last couple of months, they totally did not know what my system was. So it exposed a lot of flaws. If you want to see how bad your system is, have other people do it without any instruction from you. And unless you're very organized, you're not going to be able to understand what's wrong. So Cody, we want to go to Australia and New Zealand for our honeymoon. So hopefully September, October, we will visit you. Paul saying final value fees are lower if you have a store. That's great. So I signed up for a store day one because I'm like, I'm never going to have less than 250 items. I don't like wasting money. So hopped in and just got it up there. Let's see here. Do I have to store every receipt? Kind of. Does a CPA care about your receipts? No, but they do care about the total of all your receipts. So does the IRS. So like, yeah, you should keep all your receipts. And with my process, when I get home, I use Scannable and I scan it online, and then I put the receipt in a shoebox, literally a shoebox. And then my new process for 2019 is super, super duper annoying, which is I'm keeping every single receipt that I spend money on in my wallet all year. And it's just because I don't want to spend money this year. Like I'm trying to save money for the wedding. I'm also saving money for the dowry, right? Because I'm Asian, and then also like whatever. I'm not trying to spend money this year, so I'm keeping every receipt in my wallet, which is very annoying. So it's causing me. I literally am just saying no. I don't want to buy anything because I don't want to put the receipt there and record it. Instead of the shoebox, I want it to be annoying. So it's causing me to make larger purchases because if I were to do retail arbitrage and go from Marshalls to Burlington Coat Factory to Nike Outlet and do that shoe game, there's no way those receipts would fit in my wallet. So I'm trying to make larger purchases like wholesale or lots or liquidation things so that there's less receipts is what I want. If I could just make one gigantic $150,000 order this year and just process it all year, I would do that just to keep my accounting more simple. How do I fight burnout? Um, I fight burnout with two things. I either get really Oh, by the way, guys, if you're still watching and you're enjoying this content, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't before. I'm going to do more content. The way I deal with burnout is just by starting to move. Okay, so for example, just start doing something, and that motion carries me to go do other stuff. The For me, burnout starts to set in if I sit down. That's why I have a standing desk. That's why I try to get out of bed immediately. That's why my iPhone cord to charge my phone is only 1 inch. Okay, so I can't look at my phone in bed. Okay, which has helped me a lot. So I have to get out of my bed, and if I can just stay on my feet, I will be productive. Most people are just unproductive. As soon as they sit down, they reach in their pocket, they pull out their phone, you're done. There goes an hour. So just burnout starts to happen when you start comparing yourself to other people and you're just not focused on what you need to get done for the day. Um, Buy or rent. I say you rent where you live and you buy what you rent out. Let's see. How's my Amazon business going? It's growing. I'm still learning the process for FBA. So far, easier than the other stuff that I do. What's up? What a beast. Just started Posh. So time consuming. Poshmark is time consuming. Poshmark is. I did like about 150,000 or something on Poshmark my first 9 months. So it's like what is it? 12 to 15K a month for me on Poshmark. I kind of lost interest in it a little bit when I started doing Amazon, but I still like Poshmark. And I do somehow want to be in the Poshmark community without being so touchy feely. I'm more a formula guy and not really feelings. So I don't make my listings look cute, or I don't write thank you notes unless it's I don't really write thank you notes. I'll put in a thank you card that says thanks for your business, but I don't take the time to write a personalized note. It's just more a platform for me. But I do want to be more involved with the Poshmark community because this is my opinion only. I think Poshmark is disempowering its user base with the sharing. Okay, I won't say gender because gender doesn't matter. They are disempowering their users by forcing them to share. Sharing takes a lot of time. Even if you use automation, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time that's not useful for people because yes, people do share and buy off the feed, but the majority of people are not buying off the feed. They're just sharing to get more sales. And that's a global waste of time. I don't like that. So it does bother me a little bit. I do live near Poshmark. I could go there. I've talked to the CEO a few times and they did reach out to me to speak. And unfortunately, we didn't agree, but that's okay because I do think it's a great way for people to make extra money. Um, FBA for eBay sales definitely works. Would I say eBay is better than owning a digital marketing agency? Kind of. I had a digital marketing agency before I did this, and it was very, very hard. It was a lot of driving. I never made more than 4 grand a month, and it was still better than my day job. So like, it's okay. I wasn't good enough at it, to be honest. Wasn't good enough at running a digital Facebook marketing agency. Um, and this is the reason why I wasn't able to make people's sales grow that much. Like they're paying me $300 to $500 a month. One company paid me 3 grand a month to run their social media, and they never made that much more than they paid me. And that's always a recipe to get fired. Basically, you need to way outperform what you're producing to have people stay on with you. So, as an example, my mastermind group that I have, I don't talk about that much because I don't need more people in it. But it's Monday through Friday. We meet for an hour a day. I record the calls and I post them in my group for them to listen so we can get ideas flowing. It exceeds how much it costs, so people don't cancel. And when people say, no, this is no longer useful for me, they cancel. So if you're running a digital marketing agency, it's very hard to consistently outdo what people are paying you on a recurring basis. Whereas reselling, it's just the sky's the limit. Um, let's see. How's the barcode going? It's going great. It's the same thing if I scan it or I type it. It's not currently faster for me. The only thing is that when I have a wireless scanner. If it's the wrong item, it'll be a red light instead of a green light. But it's not. My system is decent enough so that that's not happening too often. They're not picking the wrong item. Also, like Amazon, so non-like items are in the same bins: shoes, hats, sweaters. So if a sweater sells and there's only 2 sweaters in there, it's less likely to confuse the wrong item for my staff. Although that happened probably 50 times in Q4. They sent the wrong item. So what bags do I use? Um, the link is below for it's like bit.ly/reseller supplies is my affiliate link for Amazon. I use 12 by 15 and 9 by 13. Those are the 2 size bags I use. Yeah, if you bring in a stranger, they will totally not know what your system is. Let's see here. Let's see. Man, I'm so far behind. Sorry about this, guys. Yeah, that's true. If you do YouTube videos, be prepared. Like my balls are just so bronzed at this point from just being kicked in the balls repeatedly from doing YouTube. You just have this sense of inner peace after like a year of doing it that I can't even describe how peaceful I am right now. Is the best way to store shoe? I store them in plastic bags, and I happen to live in California where it's very mild. So depending on where you live, you may have to take better care of them. Okay, I will try scan snap for receipts. Can't keep all my receipts in a suitcase. Yeah, see, this is why I want to keep the receipts in my pocket to force myself to be like, no, I am not going to stop at the thrift and spend $22. That's not worth it. I'm going to go home, research some stuff, and place a $2,000 order so that I don't have to do that. So, no, Maya, they're in my wallet, but they're already scanned in. They're just in my wallet to remind me to not spend money. I'm not using the okay, it's already the what day is it? It's already the 6th. That's all the receipts I have. Barely spent any money. Let's see. Let's see. You still shoes. Yeah, that's a good idea. Someone just stores them in the shipping boxes. I used to do that. I just don't have enough space to do that anymore. 287 items and no sales. I don't think you should give up and go back to work. But you probably should keep your day job until you have regular sales. I think that it's so risky being an entrepreneur. I didn't know that. When I was 26, if I had just lived if I had lived frugally, I would have retired by 30. But I didn't know that. No one told me like read blogs of personal finance and don't be a dumb. I had no idea people save 70, 80, 90% of their income. I thought that was a joke. I was selling a Lexus to a guy. I used to be in car sales, and the guy was like, Chris, you want to be rich? I see all these all these entrepreneur things in your office. All you have to do to be rich is get a good job that makes 150 grand or more, which you have, and just save 50% of your income for 10 years, and you're a millionaire. And I thought it was a joke. I'm like, nobody saves 50% of their income. I didn't realize that that's a thing, especially here in the Bay Area. Like rent is 50% of your income. How do you save 50% of your income? But the way you do it is by living with 9 people in a horrible situation for a couple years, and start building your foundation. But I didn't know that. I wish I just had one financially fit friend, but I didn't. All my friends were young and dumb. Let's see here. Ryan has, see, some people have 245 items and have a lot of sales, and some people have 240 items and no sales. It just depends on what you're selling. If you had 245 bars of gold and you were selling it for $10 less than market, they would probably all sell within 24 hours. So let's see. Do you get a refund for your car? Definitely, but I'm not a CPA. Let's see. What's up, Duncan? Let's see. Yeah, I think that I also disagree with what Posh is presenting on their Instagram. Like, I live in the Bay Area where where people of both genders own a lot of money. They earn a lot of money, including my fiance, her friends. All the time I see people who of both genders killing it, right? But on Posh, the Instagram is like, I wish it was Netflix and chill every single day. I think that's a poor message to send to. They have 300,000 followers. They should be more empowering people to build businesses instead of um, Netflix and chill. I don't think Netflix and chill is a good life, honestly. It's like that's when all the negative bullshit enters your brain when you don't do enough stuff. If you're out doing things, you don't get depressed. And I'm speaking from a person. I had like a mild form of depression, but as soon as I was more active, it just went away. So it doesn't work for everybody, but as long as I'm standing and doing things, it doesn't start creeping in. Um, let's see here. See, here we go. Ryan has a really, really small amount of space and has to get $35 profit per item. I've seen my fiance $100 minimum profit. She doesn't look for items that are less than $100 profit because she has no time. She has no time and no space. So she's like, if I'm not buying it for 100 to sell for 400, then what's the point? Because I don't have time to list. So it's true. Um, let's see here. Man, I cannot catch up. Um, let's see. Mercari have had 15. Wow, nice. Very, very nice. eBay and Mercari is a great duo. Great job, Vincent. Let's see. Does it private label or drop shipping? I like private label more than drop shipping, but drop shipping is very cool for people who don't have a lot of capital. Um, Hey, what's up, Lori? Hey, that's great. Empty nest, full pockets. I love that screen name. Yeah, so I have a Lori and I were just talking earlier about the demographic of resellers. We did the event in Kansas City last year, and there's probably half of the people who showed up to it were over the age of 40. Even though my social media and I myself, I'm almost 35. I'm the oldest of the millennial crew. Like I'm the same age as Zuckerberg. I was there when he invented it. I've been using Facebook since he invented it, right? And it's different. When I see the younger generation, they're so spoiled with how easy it is to make money that it's crazy. They're exposed to so much commercialism so much earlier. They just have a better idea. Um, Ryan Mack, I use Scannable, but Paul is saying ScanSnap is just as good or better. Let's see. Am I making different companies targeted around different niches for wholesale orders? No. My wholesale orders are all go into specific. It's more like I guess maybe it is. For example, I'm trying to get wholesale for specifically shoes. So it makes sense for that store to be only shoes because you can do cool things like combined shipping and more bundles on Poshmark. You could live in your car. See, I don't know why that. Wait, what? Um, Not Nike sneakers. Nike for me. Nike is difficult to get wholesale. Let's see. I need to open my own house and rent out rooms. Well, my friend Drew, he rents homes to rent out. I think that's a better route where I live. It's better to do that. Let's see. Yeah, Poshmark is challenging. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not as easy as people think it is. It's all right. Like when people were saying, "Oh, Chris is only successful because of X," they don't realize that I consider myself successful on Poshmark. I make more than $1,000 a week profit. Very few people on Poshmark earn that kind of living, and it's not just sharing. If you're the people that follow the closets that I have, the two closets that I have, um, there are plenty of days or weeks or months that go by where I don't share at all, and I still have regular sales. So it's just that sharing is only a small part of being successful on Poshmark. There's a lot that goes into it. Most of it is product mix. You need to have the right types of items so that you can sell lots of bundles. And that's like my hack of the year on Poshmark was listing under $20 items, because people are like, oh, why would you do that with a 20% fee? Because no one wants to pay $6.50 for a under $20 item. They will buy something else and get the combined 650 shipping, and that's where you really win. But most people do not have time to list all these cheap items and good items. You only have time to list good items. And on Poshmark, the demographic of people probably has a limited budget. It's not Tradesy where every single person is rich. That's it's not, that website is amazing. Like you can sell things for full retail. Okay, that doesn't happen on eBay or Poshmark ever. You don't get the full amount. Um, okay, your friend reports to Tim Cook. Let's see here. Wow, sorry. Somebody sent a super chat. Thank you for that. I'll get to it. The sharing is rewarding. It's true. And for me, I share solds. So people are like, oh, he doesn't do any sharing. It's not true, because I wouldn't know what to sell. I sell people's solds. So I share them so I can see I'm doing my homework while I'm doing that. Otherwise, I do think sharing is a waste of time. I actually don't share other people's live listings. Let's see here. That's true. It's hard to get depressed when I have a beautiful fiance. That's very true. I'm very, very, very grateful for how supportive she is. She lets me do pretty much whatever I want with my financial stuff, but she would still prefer me to have a job. I know it sounds awkward and may sound like unsupportive, but she's not unsupportive. She just doesn't like unpredictability. And having a job, like since we're frugal, we don't need that much cash. With the end of subsidized e-packets coming, yeah, maybe. The cost of the UPS shipping is going up, though, or USPS shipping. So we never had the e-packet discount. So the people like Jack Shang in SoCal, E4 City, he's a really cool dude. He's in the same program that I'm in at eBay. He has 4 million unique feedback. That means 4 million unique people have bought something from him on eBay. He was shipping stuff to China and having it shipped back e-packet. That's amazing. That's amazing. Can you imagine, like, you hear, oh, it's unfair that people can ship stuff from China cheaper. So as a US seller, you sell stuff from China so that you can get that discounted rate. That's called true entrepreneurship, in my opinion. That's the opposite of bitching about it, right? When you're like, oh, that's an advantage, let me do that. So I just thought it was cool, because who does that? Let's see, here we go. How do I source Craigslist? I don't source on Craigslist at all. It is a great place to source, especially if you sell high ASP items that require a little bit more work. Craigslist is perfect. Drop shipping will die with the end of subsidized e-packets. Could be. You sold a $100 item today. Fantastic. That's awesome. If you guys hit that like button or the dislike button, that would be great. Whoa. Yeah, I actually, well, there's a podcast called Reselling Over 40, and I'm assuming it's very popular. MLK, thank you for the super chat. Senior seller 71, that's awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing items in my closet, but please do not share items in my closet. Share your own closet, because it has a better effect. So don't waste time sharing my closet, please, for the love. Use that time to share your own closet, because sharing my closet doesn't affect the search ranking for either of us. Best place to buy wholesale items to sell on eBay, local wholesale. And you can just Google wholesale in your area and start meeting people and a network. And then the more you put yourself out there, the more you're not afraid of telling people you're a reseller, the more people will give you hookups. The bundles on Poshmark are tough. You have to have a mix of popular items and cheap items to get bundles. I had 4 bundles just yesterday. Bundles are awesome. Let's see. You got divorced 6 months ago and you're a little depressed. So here's the thing. Every time I get depressed, it's because of thinking about the past. And every time I'm fearful, it's about thinking about the future. So I really just try to stay present. It's very hard, and I get it, and I've had some terrible things happen to myself as well, but probably not as bad as other people. In fact, I consider my life a very snowflake privileged life compared to the people that I have met that have very, very bad situations. Like, the worst situation that I hear is you have a non-supportive abusive partner. That is horrible. Okay, so that is not, especially if you have a non-supportive abusive partner who makes the money. That is really, really, really tough. Okay, I can't even imagine how brutal that is, that you can't leave that relationship because you rely on them financially. I don't even know what to say. So I'm really hoping for that email one day that's, so somebody says, "Hey, I was in an abusive relationship and not financially able, and you helped me become financially able, and I was able to leave that relationship." That would be a cool email to get one day. Let's see. Let's see. Divorce and custody of my children drove me to sell on eBay. See, that's intense. And this goes back to my pleasure and pain thing from earlier. Adults really only learn through pain. So something bad has to happen to you usually for you to change your habits, which is really terrible. So I'm already at that age of 35 where all my habits are set, and so I really need to focus on rewiring my brain with some really powerful things, and usually it's negative, unfortunately. Um, Oh, Bob, that's true. The 150K a year is not profit. It's like $62,000 profit or something. It's in the Bay Area, 107 grand is considered low income or something. So I still can't buy anything with that income. I need to get up to 500K pre-tax to live the millionaire lifestyle that people talk about. But um she's just saying that I don't have to be an entrepreneur. I could just get a 9 to 5, earn the income that I need, and just live a peaceful life and not have to think about customer service and an angry customer at 9 o'clock at night, which is very true. When I was in sales, it's a very high income. It is more stressful. I'd probably have more nightcaps and maybe suffer from depression a little bit more, because when you're in sales and you get a huge deal, like I sold the Lexus LFA and I had a $6,000 commission on one item. Like, you can't. I mean, that's insane, right? The amount of money you can make in corporate sales is really, really high. You can make 10 grand of commission in one deal, or big real estate deals. But those people have crazy lives too. If you don't know how to balance that crazy input of cash, and then potentially a month goes by where you make no money. So it's challenging. I'm not going to film my wedding for YouTube, but because my private life is relatively private. So let's see. Your total expenses for the month is 1,900. I would say that actual cost of living for me is around 5,500. But because I've done stuff like part of my residence is my eBay store, I don't have a car payment. Um, I have a whole bunch of group things to save money. That's how I'm able to live on only 2 grand a month here. Um, let's see. Just canceled an eBay order placed by an Amazon dropshipper. Yeah, I mean, that happened to an eBay executive. He ordered something and got it from Walmart, and he's like, "What the hell?" And he didn't even. He was like extremely dissatisfied with that experience. But it's the way of the life. Yeah, that was my most common advice is don't get married. Do I resell from China? Sometimes. I've ordered a few products. Stay present. Good advice. Yeah, it's just tough. Past and future is very, very difficult. Um, keep my wife happy. Yeah, happy wife, happy life is very important. I usually don't win anything, so I don't know why she asked for my opinion, because it doesn't matter. Let's see. 55% of marriages fail. That's probably why it's the most common advice. Um, Let's see. eBay is your new girlfriend. Nice. Divorce is extremely expensive. Let's see. What makes me happy? What makes me happy is continuous progress. That's why I changed my name from 10K on the Bay, because I like learning about different things. And I like talking to other people. What makes me happy is just improving each day, staying present. I really should just never sit down. That's the I'm programmed. When I sit down, I pull out my phone, and it's just totally worthless. I should just not do that. You see Chinese tourists coming to Europe and buying certain products. Chinese people are really smart. I'm not one of them. I'm just a very average Asian person, but some people, they really buy the exact product that the market is looking for. That's not exclusively a Chinese thing. Have I been to the Oakland bins? Yeah, I have. It's amazing. There are 5 Goodwill bins here in the Bay Area, and they're all exceptional. So if you want to hang out and in California with the high living costs, you can definitely make it up. Let's see. Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah, Bob. I'm in that area as far as profit wise. Um, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit less, because I have full time staff. Marriage is great. I agree. I know. I was thinking about getting. 'Cause my friend Dan has 4 kids and 4 ex-wives. Oh man, I always talk about him because he's dangerously good looking. So like he just every single person, or I guess person, guy or girl, wants to be with him. So he's just too attractive for his own good and gets in trouble. So he said I could borrow his 4 kids if I ever want to see what it's like to have a lot of responsibility. Amazon FBA is the future. If you're just going to do one thing, it should be FBA. Don't even bother with eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, because they are stagnating or declining, and Amazon is exploding. So like it's if you're only going to do one platform, it should be FBA. What sell through rate is normal with 330 listings? Probably very poor. Probably not even daily sales. If you just have normal 330 items, but if you have 330 Gucci items, you might sell 200 of them in a month. Depends on what you have. Did I ever have 10K on the Bay? Yeah, I did. I hit 10K on the Bay like December 10th. Now I'm a lot lower. I'm like at 7K. Um, Why do I tie all my money up on inventory when I can do drop shipping? I just don't like drop shipping. Drop shipping is great. I just don't like being in front of a computer. I like touching physical goods and I enjoy that. But is it better than drop shipping or FBA? It is not. Drop shipping or FBA is an easier way to make money because you don't have to touch the inventory. Let's see. Do the schools bring in enough thrifting without a trip to do more? I mean, if you live in the middle of the country, it's a lot easier to run an eBay store because you can get a warehouse and order stuff online, right? So that's really the what it comes down to. Everyone has the same sourcing online. Let's just start with 4 cats. I agree. Um, I would, if you are stuck somewhere that's not, then don't source in person. Source online. I live where all the good sourcing is, and I still try to buy online. Um, let's see here. Do I spend time restoring and repairing shoes? That's a good question. I really like Renzi now. Renzi, they're on Instagram. I think they have a YouTube channel as well. They were on my show a few episodes ago, and they have a station for repair, and I really dig it. Like on one side is where they put the items in, they scrub all the dirt off, then they dry the shoes. They have a drying rack. It's just a beautiful sight. I love looking at people's processes for cleaning shoes. I personally do not. I just list them as is for the most part. I don't need that extra. You can get like up to 20 to 50% more if you restore a pair of shoes, but I just don't have that in my process. Items come in, they're listed as is, and they go back out. If somebody wants to get that pair of shoes and reflip it again, they can. I like having those good deals in my store for good traffic. Not every single item needs to be optimized for most profit in my particular store. Um, Belta, Mary is recommending you get a local cobbler. My local cobbler said for $3 to $5 a shoe. Um, he could get it down to that with just up to 50 pairs, and more than 50 pairs, it starts to get cheaper. So you can work it out with a local cobbler as well. That's a great tip. What's a best? What's a good place online to source product in bulk? I like Blue Lots. I like govdeals.org. Those are the two sites I recommend. But again, as far as wholesale goes, I recommend local. Whatever is local warehouse to you is what I recommend. And you can most of the stuff sells auction wise online these days. No, I still have the Apple shoes. They were in a museum in New York for a couple of weeks, but nope, still have them. Let's see. Yeah, Tino. You're talking about Tino, the Soul Advisor. Yeah, Tino is awesome. He was in my original mastermind group with endless entrepreneurs and Prof Sales. Prof Sales is no longer Prof Sales. He has a different name now. But yeah, I met those guys a long time ago. Tino's model is fantastic. It actually makes me want to take a step back and find an investor. Like if I were to liquidate all my goods and just pocket that cash and buy a house or something, and then use somebody else's money and split it 50-50, like Tino, I'm pretty sure that's the agreement that Tino has, because he had a very basic business model, which is like, I want to make 200 grand a year and split it with somebody and not use my own money and spend all my time with my newborn, something like that. And it's not exactly that, but along the lines of, I want to make 100K a year. I live in Dallas, Texas, or Dallas, Fort Worth. I'm not sure the area, somewhere down there. He wants to net 100 grand before tax and spend most of his time with his baby. So he had a very specific goal. He didn't want to use a lot of his own money. And yeah, he's a great guy. Cobbling is becoming a lost art, but I think it's cool. If you don't mind, you know, smelling people's feet. But it is a fantastic art because you're taking, you know, I love shoes. I love shoes more than people. I've mentioned that on a lot of my shows. Shoes are way better than people. They just they're just incredible. People usually suck. What is the industry that has the least return rate? Uh, hmm. What is the industry that has the least return rate? I would say custom items. If you buy a custom razor blade, um, which is what I want to get as party favors for my groomsmen, I want to get a really nice razor made for them. Um, I probably would never return that. So anything clothing wise has high returns. Anything electronics wise has high returns. Collectibles may or may not have high returns. Custom, I would say, is the lowest. Um, I don't really meet up with people, but maybe we can arrange something. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's interesting. Mary is saying that they kept a local cobbler in business. I like that a lot. I love entrepreneurs. What would I source if I had $500? I would source, depends on how much time I had. If I only had $500, I would get a job and not use any of it. I would just save it because it's like when I first started this, I had other income and it made it a lot easier because I didn't have to take any money out of it. Even now, like even though I don't make YouTube videos, it still makes 2 grand a month. I could live off of YouTube revenue from all my how-to videos. If you guys want to do how to sell on eBay videos, like those videos have made me thousands of dollars. It's not like I should update them because I know a lot more about eBay now than when I first started. But it's you know, every time you make how-to videos, again, you gotta get ready to be kicked in the balls for 2 months as people critique your way of doing things. So I don't know if I'm mentally ready for that right now. Um, your boss is a cobbler. Yeah. Prostitution is the oldest profession, but not practical for most. Let's see here. Um, Maya's asking, would I ever stop selling clothing and only do hard goods? Yeah, I would definitely. I would love to sell only playing cards. That sounds fun to me. But I just bought a set of Allen and Ginter baseball cards, so I'm gonna go through and see if I enjoy that. Um, yeah, we'll see. I do like trading cards. I like electronics. I like hard goods. I think I have a decent design taste. I could buy stuff for people's homes, and I think home goods passed clothing for revenue on eBay, something like that. So it's the second or the top category, home goods. Oh, you're in Amish country. Nice. I think the Amish have it figured out. Um, oh yeah, there's no returns on that. That's true. That is very true, Rusted Raccoon. All right, guys, everybody have a great 2019. I just want to summarize the 5 things that I recommend for you guys. I got kind of off track. First thing is make sure you get better at sourcing. The second thing is work on your standardized processes, shipping, sourcing, shipping, listing, customer service, accounting. Get all that stuff tightened up. Third thing is create dedicated time to work on your business. For me, the dedicated time is from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And on Sunday, I source. And then from 6 to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, I do my mastermind call. So from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., 5 days a week, I spend about 60 hours a week in my reselling business. And it does right around 2K a day. So it could be a lot better, but I'm still learning a lot of processes and a lot of things. But that's where I'm at there. And so when you work it out, it's it's like I have a full-time job and a part-time job. Next thing is use pleasure and pain as a reward system. If you are like me and you need little carrots, for me, it's mostly like food. So I will work really hard for good food, and I will work really hard to not be embarrassed. Like I have this weird recurring dream that like I'm out with my in-laws and I'm supposed to pay for dinner and my credit card bounces. That's very motivating to me. That's more motivating for me than something nice materialistically for some reason. So understand your own reward system. And then finally, um, work on accountability. Accountability is huge. Okay. So I have an accountability partner and I'm working with him all year. I committed to being an accountability partner with one person all year. What are you doing? What's going on? Did you achieve your goals? Did you not? All year. It doesn't matter who it is. And I also lead an accountability group. Okay. So most people are way more accountable to other people than they are to themselves. So just get that accountability going. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Everyone have a great night. Smash the like button and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.